everyone, thank you for tuning in to this video. Today I'm very pleased to present the CompuTec AppEngine Plugin Store, which is available as part of CompuTec AppEngine 3.0. It's not just a store, you'll find a whole new approach there with things like automated installation for all our solutions. You can see plugin dependencies, troubleshoot, and much more. It's also allowed us to open up an early access program for our partners so they can have access to our release candidates. If you are a CompuTec partner, please use the link in the description to find out how to join the early access program. You'll find the plugin store in the administration panel in CompuTec AppEngine. Go to plugins on the left, and here you'll get a list of all the plugins you've downloaded in the downloaded tab. But we'll come back here later, and for now, let's head on over to the store. Here you can see all of the plugins that are available in the plugin store. As of CompuTec AppEngine 3.0, all of our solutions will be installed using CompuTec AppEngine, not using the SAP Business One client, as was the case before in some cases. As you can see, there are already quite a few plugins here, and there are likely to be more in the future. So you can use the search box at the top to find what you want. Let's search for our advanced manufacturing solution, CompuTec Process Force. You can see that we have 3 plugins that meet our search criteria. Let me just explain what's going on over on the right here. The first 2 plugins have a green box. That means we already have them installed. However, you can see that there are newer versions available for download. The last one has a blue box. This means that we don't have that one installed at all. So let's install it. We click on the blue box and we'll get some information like this here about what exactly is going to be installed. You can see that we're also going to install a second plugin, CompuTec Process Force API. This is because that version of CompuTec Process Force API is necessary for the correct functioning of this version of CompuTec Process Force UI. So if you want to install any plugin, the CompuTec AppEngine Plugin Store will automatically tell you what other plugins you also need to install for it to work properly. So now we'll click on Get and Install, and as the plugins on the list are added to the CompuTec AppEngine plugin repository, you'll be able to see the progress on the progress bar, and it will tell you when each plugin has been added. Now we have to select the company we want to install the plugin for. And then this window gives us a summary of what actions will be carried out. If you click on Show Details, you can see some more details about the sequence of the operations. So if I'm happy with that, I can click on Perform Actions and Confirm on the next window, and then you'll get a progress window like this. You can see which operations are currently running, and you can expand those to get more detail about what's happening during the installation. When we're done, you'll get a window that confirms if you want the plugin to be installed and active on the company we selected earlier. If you're happy with that, you can just click on Close. And then we end up back here and you can see some changes now. Now the CompuTec Process Force API and UI plugins are in the most up-to-date version, so we don't have any buttons to upgrade or install them over on the right. Let's go back to the Downloaded tab. So as I said before, here we have a list of all the plugins that we have installed. What's really useful is that we can see on the right some important information. For starters, you can see for which plugins there are new versions. Let's look at one example more closely. For the CompuTec Process Force plugin, if we expand this here using the arrow, we can see that there are these 3 available versions, but that we don't have any of them installed. At this point, it's probably worth noting that as a CompuTec employee, I have access to all our release candidates. The release candidates can be identified by this RC in the version name. If you're participating in our early access program, you will also have access to them the same as I do. But if not, you will only have full releases listed here. So those release candidates will be invisible to you. We can also see that we don't have any of these versions installed on any companies or any instances of CompuTec AppEngine. But if we look at the CompuTec Process Force API plugin that we just installed a moment ago, you can see that we have that latest version installed for one company. In the Releases tab, we can see all the plugins that we have installed for which new versions are available. So basically it's a filtered version of the downloaded list. I can see here that there is a newer version of our MRP plugin. From here, you could install the newest version of the plugin and it would work in the same way as I showed you before. But actually now we are going to click on the plugin name and that will take us to a screen that gives us more details about the plugin. At the top, we have the general information about the plugin, and what I particularly want to show you is the dependencies tab. Here we can see that for this plugin, we need to also have the MRP Business Logic plugin installed. And for that to work, we also need the CompuTec Processforce API plugin. We also have information about what version is required and then underneath what version we have already. So here for CompuTec Processforce API, we can see that the version number is higher than that which is required. We also need these plugins over here too, and you can see details for each plugin just by clicking on the check icon. On the Other Versions tab, you can see all the versions of the plugin. You can see that we have this version here installed. It's marked as being available on the right. There is a newer version available here too. If we click on that, we can see the dependencies for that version. And we can see as well that, as well as the MRP plugin, we would need to install a newer version of MRP Business Logic. And to get both of those, we just then click on Get, and the installation process will be started and will proceed in much the same way as we saw earlier in the video. And here we have all the changes that will be made. All of those plugins will be updated and activated on CompuTec AppEngine. There's one more thing that I would like to show you before we finish. I'll just start back where we were after logging into the administration panel. If you look up at this bell icon, this is where you will get some notifications, and you can see that we have two. If we click on that to see what they are, the first one is information that there is a new version of CompuTec AppEngine available. And we can get that new version just by clicking on Show More Information and then on the link, and it will download. Okay, let's go back to that other notification. You'll also get notifications here to help you identify and resolve problems. So here we've got some information about some plugin problem. If we click on Show More Information, we'll find out what plugins should be removed, and getting rid of them is as simple as just clicking on the Fix button, and CompuTec AppEngine will take care of the rest for you. Once you have plugins installed, you can run them in three places, either from the CompuTec AppEngine Launchpad, the SAP Business One client, or, as you can see here, the SAP Business One web client, where to launch a plugin, you simply click on the appropriate tile.